Today I am going to teach you lesson number 3, Taru's Reward, class 6th. Before you read, this is the story about a thoughtful and loving son. He works hard to fulfill his parents' wishes and gets some unexpected help. So, boys and girls, this lesson, dear students, this lesson will teach you should obey your parents. If you will obey your parents, everybody will love you. Taro's Reward. A young woodcutter named Taro lived with his mother and father on a lonely hillside. Lonely means solitude, lonely means alone. A young woodcutter, his name was Taro. He was living with his parents, the father and mother, on the side of hilltop. All day long, he chopped wood in the forest. Chopped means cut. All day long, he chopped wood in the forest. Though he worked very hard, he earned very little money. He was a very hard working boy, but he earned very little money and he was not able to fulfill his parents' desire also. This made him sad because after doing a lot of work, he was not able to fulfill his parents' desire. So that is why he was sad. For because he was a thoughtful son and wanted to give his old parents everything they needed. So what they need and he wanted to give them. So that is why he was a little bit sad because he was not able to fulfill his parents' desires. Paragraph number 2. One evening, when Taro and his parents were sitting in a corner of their hut, a strong wind began to blow. This is the thing you should keep in mind. One evening, when his parents and Taro were sitting, and after that, after that, after that, when they were sitting there, and after that, one evening when Taro was sitting there and his parents were sitting in the corner of their hut, a strong wind began to blow and it whistled through the cracks of the hut and everybody felt very cold. And there was a whistling of the because the wind was blowing very hard, and after that his father felt cold. Suddenly Taru's father said, I wish I had a cup of sake. Actually, sake, one thing I am telling you, this is a Japanese very very precious, very very costly drink. So it would balm me and do my old heart good. So that is why he wished to have sake, a cup of sake. So that is why. Number 3, paragraph number 3. This made Taro sadder than ever. Why sadder? Because he was a thoughtful son. He was always thinking about his old parents. So he was earning a little bit money. So that is why it made him sadder. Sadder is a adjective comparative degree. Before that he was sad, but now he was sadder. And for the heart-warming drink called sake was very expensive, so that is why he was sad. And how do I earn more money? So he thought and asked himself, How do I earn more money? He asked himself. How do I get a little sake for my poor old father? So that is, he was asking himself a few questions so that he can work harder than before. He decided to work harder than before. So that is why he started working hard than before. And paragraph number 4. Next morning, Taro jumped out of bed earlier than usual and made his way to the forest. The next door, the next morning, he jumped out of his bed earlier than usual means if he was getting up 6 o'clock, today he got up at 5 o'clock earlier than usual time. So he chopped and cut, he cut and cut, chopped and cut as the sun climbed. Before the sun rises, so he started his work before that. As soon as he was so warm that he had to take off his jacket, because when he was working hard, he felt he felt warm. So after that he take off his jacket. He took off his jacket, and after that his mouth was dry, and because of warm, because of hot, he felt at that time he his mouth was dry and his face was wet with sweat. Because of sweat, he was thinking about water. My poor old father, he thought, if only he was as warm as I. So because he was a young boy, his father was a poor man, he was a old person, so he was thinking that, and with that he began to chop even faster. And thinking about his father, he started working harder than usual, and thinking about the extra money he must earn to buy the sake to warm the old father's bones. So with the extra money, he will he will learn he will earn, and he wanted to buy sake for his old father, so that the sake will warm his old father's bones, warm the old man's bones. Paragraph number 5. Then suddenly Taru stopped chopping because he was sweat with he was perspiration. So that is why he stopped chopping. He was the, he that what was that sound he heard? Could it be possibly the rushing water? He heard the sound of running water, rushing water. Taru could not remember ever seeing or hearing a rushing stream in that part of the forest, because for the last so many years he has been going to the forest to cut wood. So he has never heard a rushing stream in that part of the forest. So that is why he was surprised, and he was thirsty. He was because of perspiration, because of sweat. The axe dropped out of his hands, and he ran in the direction of the sound. And he left the axe from dropped out of his hands, and after that he started running towards the direction of that sound. Paragraph number 6. Taro saw a beautiful little waterfall hidden behind a rock. So when Taro reached there, he saw a beautiful waterfall hidden behind a rock. Kneeling at a place where the water flowed quietly, he made a cup of his two hands and took a little water from that rushing water, and after that he put it to his lips. Was it water? There is sign of interrogation, and he was asking question to himself. Was it water or was it sake? Because it was not a water, it was just like, it tastes like sake, a costly, expensive wine in Japan. He tasted it again and again, and always it was the delicious sake instead of cold butter. That stream has given him not butter but delicious sake instead of cold butter. Paragraph number 7. Taro quietly filled the pitcher he had with him, and without making any noise, without feeling any ecstasy, without feeling any happiness, he filled the pitcher, butter pot, you can say, pitcher means pot, you can say, with him, and hurried home. And hurried home means he has started running towards home. The old man was delighted with the sake. When his old father, after that his old father uh, drank it, and after that it was a beautiful, delicious sake, and after only one swallow of the liquid, he stopped shivering. After drinking one sip of that delicious sake, his old father stopped shivering and did a little dance in the middle of the floor. And it shows that he was very happy. His thoughtful son, has brought a beautiful sake for him, delicious sake for him. So after drinking a little bit, he stopped shivering and did a little dance in the middle of the floor. Paragraph number 8. That afternoon, a neighbor stopped by for a visit. Taru's father politely offered her a sake cup of the sake, and at that time, a neighbor, a lady, she has stopped at his residence, and Taru's father, he was a very polite person also. He also offered a cup of sake to that lady also, and the lady drank it greedily and thanked the old man. That lady, she also drank the sake, and she also thanked him. The Taro told her the story of the magic waterfall. Thanking them for the delicious drink, she left in a hurry. So the Taro told him the story of magic waterfall, where it was, and after drinking the delicious sake, she left the place hurriedly because she wanted to go there and wanted to bring a full pitcher full of that sake. By nightfall, she had spread the story throughout the whole village, and you know very well. So that lady, she has told everyone, every person in the village about delicious waterfall. And that evening, paragraph number 9, that evening there was a long procession of visitors to the woodcutter's house. So boys and girls, that evening so many people of that village had come to Taro's house. Each man heard the story of the waterfall and took a sip of the sake, and everyone took a sip of the sake, and in less than 1 hour the pitcher was empty. And you know, everyone from the village has come to Taru's house, and everybody tasted the delicious sake, and within no time, within 1 hour, the pitcher was empty. Paragraph number 10. Next morning, Taro started for work even earlier than the morning before. So, boys and girls, my dear students, next morning Taro got up and he has gone to his work earlier than before. He carried with him the largest pitcher he owned. Whatever he had, the biggest pitcher in his home, he has carried with him to fill with the delicious sake, for he intended first of all to go to the waterfall. So he intended means he wanted to go there. It was his intention to go there first, so that he can fill the biggest pitcher with the delicious sake. When he reached it, he found, to his great surprise, all his neighbors there. When as soon as he reached there, he found to his great surprise, all his neighbors were there before him. They were carrying pitchers, jars, buckets, everything they could find to hold the magic sake. They had taken with them everything, pitcher, jars, buckets, everything, whatever they owned. Even then one villager knelt and held his mouth under the waterfall to drink. One person from the village, he knelt, and after that he wanted to taste the drink, magic water. He drank again and again and then shouted angrily. He tasted again and again and he shouted with anger, "Water, nothing but butter." He told everyone that it is not sake, it's only water, nothing but water. Others also tried, but there was no sake, only cold water. So you can see, everybody who went there from the village, they tasted and tasted, but they found it only water, cold water. Paragraph number 11. "We have been tricked," shouted the villagers. The villagers shouted that Taro has tricked with us. Taro has tricked with us. Where is Taro? Let us drown him in this waterfall. Because they were very angry, they wanted to kill him. They wanted to drown him in the water. So that is why. But Taro had been wise enough to slip behind a rock. So he was very wise. So he judged the situation and hid himself behind the rock. When he saw saw how things were going, he was nowhere to be found, and he hid himself, and he was not there, because he has realized that the people from the village, they are very angry and they wanted to kill him, they wanted to drown him in the water. So that is why he hid himself behind the rock. Paragraph number 12. Muttering their anger and disappointment, the villagers left the place one by one, and they were very angry because they were disappointed, because they could not get delicious sake, only cold water. The villagers left the place one by one. Taro came out from his hiding place. Was it true? When everybody has gone, Taro came out from his hiding place, and he wanted to see whether it is true. He wondered, was the sake a dream? One more, he caught a little liquid in his hands and put it to his lips. It was the same fine sake. When he himself tasted that one, he found that it was the same sake. It was the same sake, and he was very surprised. To the thoughtful son, the magic waterfall gave, gave the delicious sake, and he was very surprised. It was the same delicious sake, and that waterfall has given that thoughtful son a delicious sake. To everyone else, it gave only cold water, and the rest of the people who has come greedily to fill the pitchers, to fill the jars, to fill the buckets, the magic waterfall has given only cold water. And to the thoughtful son, this beautiful magic waterfall has given delicious sake. Paragraph number 13. The story of Taro and his magic waterfall reached the Emperor of Japan. So, you know, boys and girls, it was a beautiful thing, and the story of Taro and his magic waterfall has reached the Emperor of Japan, King of the Japan. Emperor means king, King of Japan. He sent for the young woodcutter. He called the young woodcutter and rewarded him with 20 pieces of gold for having been so good and kind. So the king has given him 20 gold coins because he was very good with his parents, because he was a thoughtful son, because he was a very kind son, because he was thinking always about his old parents to make them happy, to fulfill their desires. So then he named the most beautiful fountain in the city after Taro. That beautiful fountain, the king has given the name that fountain Taro. Then this said the emperor, this said the king, was to encourage all children to honor and obey their parents. So that is why, because he has given that fountain the name of Taro, because the king of the country, he was a very very wise person. So that is why, to encourage the next generations so that they can honor and obey their parents. So that is why he has given that fountain the name of Taro. So this was the beautiful lesson. It teaches us we should obey our parents, we must honor our parents, we must be kind with our poor and poor and old parents. So that is question answers we will discuss in second